Hey guys, welcome back to another episode of the Versatility Podcast. For today's episode, I'm going to be recapping the first round of the NBA playoffs and a bunch of other football, baseball, and other headlines to talk about. Not so much, this is pretty much all sports today, actually. There is no music related, or maybe. There is, you know what? I'll talk about the music potentially later, but for the most part, this is going to be a sports episode. So this is all pretty much sports. If we do get to the music, that'll be very. That'll be at the very end of the episode, but that maybe it might be for something else completely different. So that might not even be for the episode. But anyways, let's get straight to it. So let's get started with the first. Let's start off with the standings. Of course, we usually start off with standings. You know what I mean? So we're just gonna do that. Start off with the let's start off with MLB standings. Okay. All right. So nothing much has changed here. Nothing much. I mean, I checked the standings like literally yesterday. So not much has changed from yesterday to today. But anyways, we got the Orioles and the Yankees. The Yankees are only one game behind the Orioles right now. We got the Red Sox and we got the Blue Jays and we got the Rays. And then we got in the Central, we got the Guardians and the Royals, excuse me, just a half game behind the Twins here, a game and a half behind. Then we got Tigers, and then the White Sox are just in shit land. Then we got the Mariners, the Rangers, the A's, Astros, Angels. We got internationally, we got the Phillies on top right now. The Braves are a half a game behind, and the Mets, Nationals at 16-16, and then then the Marlins dead last as expected. Then we got closing up with the Brewers. We got the Cubs, the Reds, the Cardinals, the Pirates, and then closing in the West, we got the Dodgers right now with a 4.5 game lead against the Padres, and the Giants 5.5 games behind Diamondbacks. And we got the Rockies at 8-24 for Kobe. Anyways, MLS standings. We could do that first, right? Where's soccer here? I know Inter Miami is right now at number 1, so that that's good. We got to keep it up. But they play I think New York today. It is Saturday as I'm recording this right now, May 4th. It's literally 2 a.m. at the moment. But anyways, yeah, they play against the New York Red Bulls at 7:30 in Miami. So that should be a top 3 teams in the East right now. I mean, New York is right now in third. They're just 4 games. Not 4 games, 4 points away from us, 4 points behind us, as we're at 21 points. Right now, we're the best team in all of MLS. I mean, we lead. We have 21 points compared to 18 with Cincinnati and with Salt Lake and LA Galaxy. So, yeah, right now we're doing pretty good with 6 wins, 3 draws, and 2 losses. Messi has been Messi. He's he's the GOAT. So nothing much has changed there. Nothing much has changed there. So not much to expect there. Anyways, that was quick little MLS MLB standings just to start things off. Actually, let's do UFL. Let's do the UFL just to get off of that as well. So recapping like the last couple weeks, I guess. So this was like the week 4. I think this is where I left off last time. I haven't recorded in a couple weeks, so I believe this is where I ended off last time. So yeah, the Battlehawks, Stallions, Brahmas, and the Roughnecks, they won in week 4. Then last week in week 5, the Brahmas, they defeat the Renegades. The Renegades are 0-5. They still have not won a game. They won the XFL championship last year, and they still have not won a game yet. So will it be time this year in week 6? Hopefully, we'll see. Stallions, they're undefeated, however. 32-9 win against the Roughnecks. My God, they've been rough. The Battlehawks have cooked. They cooked the Defenders 45-12. This was a pretty good game, even though it was a blowout in the second half. The Panthers and the Showboats. Panthers get the good win here. 3rd win of the season, defeating the Showboats at 1-4. Now, week 6. How are we already? We're already half in the season. We're already half the season through the UFL. So, Anyways, the 2 games for today, we got the Stallions and the Showboats. I mean, the Stallions, I think they're going to stay perfect here, 5-0. They're going to be 6-0 after a win here. So I got the Stallions, the Roughnecks, and the Battlehawks. I got the Battlehawks. Then on Sunday, we got the Renegades and the Panthers. I'm thinking the Renegades are going to get their first win, but I've been saying that for like the last 2 weeks. So when the hell is it going to happen? Give me the Renegades, though. Fuck it. I'm going to believe in the Brahmas. I think the Defenders, I think they're going to bounce back, get a big win against the Brahmas, and be at a 500 record at 3-3. So for week 6, I got the Stallions, I got the Battlehawks, I got the Renegades, and I got the Defenders. So that is that for the UFL. Other headlines to talk about before we get into like the NBA playoffs, which is pretty much going to be the main segment of the episode. Let's talk about the Devin Haney fight. The Devin Haney versus Ryan Garcia fight. It's been already 2 weeks already, but anyways, yes, we're gonna talk about the fight and also another headline regarding Ryan Garcia. So, just to kind of talk about the fight, this pretty much sums it up perfectly. So this was a fight that took place April 20th, so literally two Saturdays ago, with the Devin Haney and Ryan Garcia having this rivalry. They fought 6 times in the amateurs, and they split up 3-3. So this was a Game 7 big fight for both guys. And Ryan Garcia, he dominated. He won by majority decision, but it should have been unanimous because there was one judge that called it a draw. One judge called it a draw, and if you saw the fight, you would have been like, in what fucking fight? In what universe? In what way? Besides you betting on Devin Haney yourself, which he had to have, that the judge who had called it a draw must have had fucking money line on Haney, because I swear to God, I don't know what he was taught. I don't know where he was. He was not watching this fight, or was he just paying attention to something else? I don't know what the hell he was watching, but he was not watching this fucking fight, because I don't know how somebody would have, after 12 rounds of this fight, would have still thought Devin Haney won the fight. Yeah, he got knocked down 3 times. 3 times. But those 3 knockdowns were the clear ones. He also had technically 5 or 6, but they didn't count. One of them was Ryan Garcia was deducted a point because he hit him behind the back. So that was, that deducted a point from him. But I mean, my goodness, either way, dude, Ryan Garcia cooked this man, knocked his ass down 3 times. But shit, if you really count, that was like 5, 6 times. Yeah, Devin Haney looked so sloppy in this one. He was clinching to save his life. Towards like the last, I think it was at like Ryan Garcia started heavy in that first round, but then between rounds 2 to 6, he was keeping up the pace. Devin Haney was kind of keeping up the pace. He was just being a little bit more active defensively, and Ryan Garcia couldn't do much there. But once the 7th round started, that's when like the Garcia show just started to kick in. They just started throwing haymakers. His left hand is pretty fucking dangerous. I am not gonna lie. I mean, we know this man's like a speedster and can, fucking, you'll feel his punches from his punches feels like fucking 102 mile an hour fastballs coming at you. Like, it's just like, how can you even take those fucking shots? It's impressive. I mean, so basically Devin Haney just got smoked in this one. So yeah, and Ryan Garcia, unfortunately, with the belt situation, of course, since he did miss the weight by over 3 pounds, he didn't win the title, or he didn't win a belt for this fight. But of course, he made a bag off the fight. Obviously, made a ton of money. And I mean, he definitely surprised a lot of people, including me. And Ryan Garcia bamboozled the whole fucking world. Why? Because a lot of us, including me, I said it on the podcast, was thinking too much on his mental state. And we were kind of just worried that Ryan Garcia was going to just, I don't know, just kind of pull a fucking Nate Diaz against Jake Paul. Like Nate Diaz was just there to just fucking fight and get a bag. Like we didn't really well, that was not a good comparison. But basically what I'm trying to compare it with was that Ryan Garcia, we kind of thought he was out of it. We didn't I a lot of people didn't think that he was mentally prepared or focused for the fight just because of his shenanigans on the press conferences and like what he's posting on social media. We were like just like wait, he's just not there mentally. So we're just gonna assume that maybe it's gonna get to him in the fight, and then Haney might, this is not an easy guy to knock down. And he just fucking dominated and absolutely bamboozled half the fucking world, if not majority of the world, because a lot of people did not see Ryan Garcia beat Devin Haney by fucking split decision, unanimous decision, by like any decision. I mean, by draw. Like this was a clear cut Ryan Garcia masterclass and a comeback after I mean he had a fight before he had another I forgot what his last opponent was. I forgot the guy's name, but he did have a fight before the Haney fight, and that was the fight before and that fight was after the one that he lost to Tank last year. So big bounce back for Ryan Garcia. But yesterday we got news that apparently he tested positive for a performance enhancing drug. So despite the complete domination of Ryan Garcia and a lot of people being surprised of this result, including me, of course, now we have an excuse to potentially back up what the fuck we just saw and what really made sense of it. Look, I really want to assume that Ryan Garcia fought fair and square, but it's not looking good right now. He tested positive. So as you can see here, he shocked the boxing world on April 20th when he dropped Devin Haney 3 times en route to a majority decision victory. And there was already an asterisk next to that victory, obviously because he missed weight. And so, of course, he couldn't get any title fight, and he couldn't get the title for the bout for it. And then he failed a VADA drug test ahead of the fight. He was the first to report Garcia's failed test, claiming the result was related to a performance-enhancing drug, Ostarine. Rafael noted that he tested positive on April 19th, the day before the fight. Wow. On April 20th, during his post-fight evaluation, this only took a couple weeks to find out. And then here it says Garcia has 10 days to request his B sample to be tested. An A sample also screened positive for 19 noradostrom, another enhancement drug here, but unconfirmed. So basically, it looked like he tested positive for that Ostarine drug that day before the fight, April 19th, and then now apparently he's also got tested positive for another sample of another drug for that 19 whatever the fuck it is. But again, he has 10 days to request that. He has 10 days to request that sample to be tested again. And obviously, if it comes out positive again, then well, it's pretty much wrap over. It's pretty much a wrap. He fucking cheated in this fight. Now, look, not a lot of people again did not expect this, and another thing that may throw off people was that, well, it's not pretty much of a surprise because despite the antics and despite like what Ryan Garcia was doing, like promoting for the fight, it is very clear that he does have a problem with like alcohol and like drugs and stuff like that. A lot of people say he'd be doing coke and shit. I am not confirming that he does that shit. I am just simply putting that out there that he does have a drinking problem. He does, he fucking drinks the day of, the day before, the day after the fight. Like he has this thing, and that's like true. So the drugs blending in with like his alcohol, with his alcohol obsession, it just being, you know, getting into like bizarre behavior, like doing like all this social media posting and this and that. Again, claiming that he was drinking alcohol regularly. So yeah, and that was after the fight, and he admitted that after the fight. And obviously, he also pretty much said that that was just solely to pretty much troll everybody. Which, I mean, fair enough. He did do that. He did troll. I mean, most people who, everybody who doubted him, he fucking trolled them. But at the same time, now it looks like it's gonna bite him in the ass if he does test positive once again within the next 10 days of another result for the enhancement drug. I mean, if it does comes out that he cheated before the fight, no one's gonna look at Ryan Garcia as, well, he upset the boxing world and he did it fair and square. And, well, he beat Tank, but he beat him up all doped up. So it's not gonna be the same. It's not gonna be the same. I'm hoping the best for Ryan Garcia. Nothing, no hate against him. I mean, I was entertained by the fight, and honestly, he's a pretty funny and interesting guy. I know he has other things in his mind. I know that maybe not everything that he fabricated for the fight. I think there's still certain things in there in his mind that it's just not maybe in the best state. But clearly, he's a fucking great boxer. I'm hoping that doesn't just get dragged away because of this. It's not like I'm really hoping the worst for him. I'm hoping that it was testing negative, but it's also not the biggest surprise either. It's not the biggest surprise either. I think if we could put money on somebody who would have tested positive before a fight for a fighter, we probably would have easily assumed Ryan Garcia may have laced something up, or did other drugs to perform to enhance his performance prior to the fight. But this is just this is nothing confirmed yet that he has been guilty or not. So we'll see. We'll see if he if he fails this, because the boxing world will not take him seriously anymore. A lot of people would just put him on that you're a cheater, dog. We don't care. Oh, you beat Devin Haney for 2 weeks. You had your glory, and now you're a fucking cheater. So we don't care about you anymore. It could go. People will switch up just like that. You had these last 2 weeks. You were on cloud nine, winning the fight, making a bag, and now this happens. It's going to be pretty tough for him. So we'll see what happens after that. But anyways, let's talk about the Canelo fight. Speaking of boxing, we have a Canelo fight tonight against Jaime Munguia. Let me just do a quick little research on this man, because I have no idea who this man is. Call me a casual. He's a Mexican professional. Okay, so Mexico versus Mexico, BoxRec. So he made his debut in 2013. He's been a boxer for 11 years. He is a male. Got it. 27 years old, from Mexico. What's his record? He is 43-0. Whoa, okay. He got 34 knockouts? Shit. He's a super middleweight. Yeah, so his last fight was against John Ryder earlier this year in Phoenix, where he won the WBC Silver Super Middleweight title here. Won by knockout. Or not by knockout, by TKO, excuse me. Oh my goodness. So yeah, this dude's undefeated. I didn't even know that. All right, well, he's undefeated. Seems to be a fucking tough opponent for Canelo, but I mean, this is Canelo we are talking about. We can't doubt Canelo. He's one of the best of this generation. Canelo has has been one of the biggest boxing. He's one of the biggest superstars in boxing for the last decades or so. So, and it's Cinco de Mayo. This Cinco de Mayo on Sunday. So this is a big fight for Mexico on Saturday night. So this is going to be pretty big. The fight's going to be at, of course, the T-Mobile Arena in Vegas. The main card will probably start at 8 p.m., but later on it'll probably start like at 11 or 12. So yeah, I'm guessing Arreaz is definitely the favorite here. I mean, I have Canelo winning this fight. I mean, yeah, I don't. There's really hasn't been like that much. I haven't seen much promotion behind. I mean, of course, the press conferences, and there has been weigh-ins and everything. Obviously, every fucking big bout has that, but I haven't seen much of them like going at it. I think it's just like I don't think they have any beef or anything. It's just strictly professional, just trying to get the job done. But there is something with Canelo and Oscar De La Hoya. There was like a clip on during the press conference. I think the last press conference earlier this week, where yeah, I mean, Canelo was talking shit about Oscar De La Hoya for the past couple of years, and Oscar De La Hoya finally like spoke up and was like, "Hey, man, you've been talking shit about me for this time, and this and that, and accusing me of all this shit, and like I'm tired of it. You know what I mean? So I'm standing up for myself, and fuck yourself." And then yeah, they clearly have something going on. My goodness, could you imagine if Oscar De La Hoya just comes out of fucking nowhere and fights Canelo? I mean, my goodness, at this point, fuck it. After this fight, let's just make that fight happen. I mean, my goodness, they make that another fight. My goodness, I never seen Canelo curse in English before. By the way, his English has gotten so much fucking better, dude. I've seen a couple of interviews that he's had ahead of the fight. His English has definitely improved a lot. Shit. So, but anyways, what the hell am I even talking about? I'm talking about his fucking English. But anyways, best of luck to both fighters. I just want to see a good fight. Not necessarily putting money on Canelo, but won't be surprised if he does it again. So yeah, Canelo versus Munguia. We'll see how that fight ends later tonight. Let's talk about some football related news. The Dolphins, they made a move, which is cool, but they signed Odell Beckham Jr. to a 1-year, $3 million contract in free agency. Now, here we got the little promotion for Canelo. Okay. Yeah, so we got Odell Beckham on a 1-year deal contract. You see that number 3 on the jersey? That's gonna be his role on the team. He's gonna be the third wide receiver option for the Dolphins this year. Since Tyreek Hill is obviously number 1, and then Jalen Waddle's at number 2, and then we got Odell Beckham at 3. So Odell, Odell has no pressure. For him to be on this loaded offense, especially wide receiver room that's already loaded as fuck with Tyreek and Jalen Waddle. What the hell? With Jalen Waddle, excuse me. He doesn't necessarily have to do much with us. So basically, if he sucks, unless he's costing us games, then we don't want this motherfucker on the team. But he doesn't really have to do much. I mean, Odell is in his in the later half of his career. Obviously, this is not 2014 anymore. If this was 2014, holy shit, I would have lose my shit. But obviously, the contract wouldn't be 1 year, $3 million. We would have signed this man. God knows how much money we would have paid him in 2014. I mean, why the hell I don't even think he wouldn't even wanted to be with the Dolphins in 2014. But let's just say that was the case if he was coming here in his prime around that time. Even 2016, he was still really good. So yeah, we're not going to see Odell superstar. This doesn't completely wow anybody, but for a third wide receiver option here, maybe he can, he might be solid for us. I'm expecting him to be solid enough. I mean, Odell, you're not that top tier guy anymore in the league, but you don't gotta be. No one's forcing you to do that. So yeah, you remember what happened last time. Jalen Ramsey trying to speak it into his existence. Yeah, I'm sorry to say, I highly doubt it. Just because now Odell is on the team and he's teammates again with Jalen Ramsey, all of a sudden now we're winning a damn Super Bowl. Yeah, it's about to get ugly in Miami. Yeah, maybe, maybe. I mean, yeah, maybe. I would hope so. I want it to get really fucking ugly, but in a good way. Not like losing in the wild card and not winning a fucking playoff game ugly, but like winning the Super Bowl and everybody else is like really fucked ugly. That's the ugly I want. But that's not going to happen. I don't think anytime soon. But we'll see. We will see. Are we going to be regular season queens or kings, and then we're going to act like absolute fucking henchmen in the playoffs? I don't know. I don't know. We will see. This is not going to do much for the Dolphins to win a Super Bowl, but hey, if Odell does solid numbers, if he gets fucking 300, 400 yards for us, hey, fuck it. Why not, man? Thank you. Thank you. Thank you for your help. Thank you for your help. All right, let's talk about Caitlyn Clark because she just made her WNBA preseason debut. Wait, let me go on ESPN. Actually, I think they should have the WNBA thing. WNBA thing. Let me see. Where's the WNBA? Over here. So we just look at the stats. So it was the Indiana Fever against the Dallas Wings, I believe. The Dallas Wings, yes. So they did lose the game 79-76. It's literally a preseason game though. Caitlyn Clark went 21. So she had 21 points, 3 rebounds, 2 assists. She shot 40% from the field, 38.5 from 3. For her first preseason game, 21 points, and shot 40% from the field. Not terrible. Not terrible at all. I mean, 6 for 15 from the field. Not at a obviously not at a 50%, but definitely not horrible. She was knocking down shots. I mean, obviously most of her points from just just shooting the ball from the logo or from out the top of the key. Shit, doing what she was doing in Iowa for the last 4 years. So, I mean, this is another Caitlyn Clark game. She made a couple of good assists. I saw, she made a couple good plays, making some good assists throughout the game. But pretty much, I mean, Indiana, they couldn't close it out in that fourth quarter because I think the Arike, what's her name, man? Arike, Umdimwale. Fuck, I can't. I remember her because she played in Notre Dame and she hit the game winning shot in the national championship. That was like 3 or 4 years ago. Actually, no, that was like 6 years ago. I was in like middle school when that happened. What the fuck? I was like 6 years ago. So, but yes, she had a game winning 3. Enrique Ongumduwale. This is her. Yeah, so she had a game winning 3 for the first win of the preseason and for the first game in Caitlyn Clark's career. So that's underway. But when's the first regular season game though? Because it's gonna be when? It's gonna be May 14th. Okay, so May 14th is gonna be the first game against the Sun. The Suns? I thought they were in Cancun. Oh, we'll get to the Suns in a little bit, guys. Don't worry about it. We'll talk about the NBA playoffs. But my goodness, dude. The Sun. Yeah, they'll play May 14th. Okay, interesting. All right. So Caitlyn Clark, 21 points in her first game. Good shit. Also baseball news that just happened literally a couple hours ago. The Padres, they have now officially acquired Luis Arreaz from the Miami Marlins. Here we go again. The Marlins suck, and they're gonna get even worse now that they've lost Arreaz. So great, nothing, nothing special, man. We suck so much. Fuck it. What's the point? We could, whatever. We'll just send Luis Arreaz away. So the trade apparently is we're sending him to the Padres, and in return we're going to be getting outfielder Dylan Head, awesome. Outfielder Jacob Marcy, right-handed pitcher Woo Suk Go, and then first baseman Nathan Martorella. I don't know any of those people, but hopefully any of them can do something for this Marlins team, just to be interesting, just to win some games this year. Or they're probably pieces that are going to be in AAA or some shit or a AA baseball. But yeah, it sucks that we're going to lose the batting champion last year to the Padres. The Padres upgraded and they have another great contact hitter on their lineup. And the Padres might be sneaky. They might be not. I mean, sneaky because they're in the division with the Dodgers and with the Diamondbacks, so they're really gonna have to play their ass off all year long to try to not stay in that third spot in the NL West, but most likely they will because again the Dodgers are really good and the Diamondbacks are really good. So the Padres, I mean, I would love to see Luis Arraez now. I mean, he's going to be playing for a good team though, at least a solid team that he could doesn't have to waste his fucking talent there. But I mean, Luis Arraez only, played a handful of years in Miami, so it wasn't really he was wasting much time there, anyways. But yeah, this is pretty unexpected. I mean, congrats on Luis. He's going to San Diego. He's going to a way better team than fucking here in Miami. He wants a full packed stadium. He doesn't want a fucking 25% full capacity Lone Depot Park crowd every other fucking week. So, he wants to play in San Diego. Let the motherfucker ball out over there while we just completely, suffer without him. But anyways, we move on. Let's talk about the Lakers head coach, Darvin Ham. He's out of here. He is gone, skedaddle, bamboozled, fired. After 2 years with the LA Lakers as the head coach, he has been officially fired. I will not say here and be very fucking surprised about the news. A lot of people wanted this man fired. I wasn't very much on the fire Darvin Ham, but I get it. He lost the locker room. And when you lose the locker room, you really think you're going to stay there for very long? Fuck no. So it wasn't really hard to tell that he was going to lose his job after this. I am not going to put all the blame on Darvin Ham after that Lakers Nuggets first round series that we will get to talk about in a little bit. I wouldn't make all the wrong. I wouldn't put the total blame on Darvin Ham. Again, the players are the biggest reasons for why they obviously lose the series or win the series. So, they're the ones that you got to take accountability for. But the coaches, they could do so much. And Darvin Ham just didn't know what it took, at least to beat the Denver Nuggets. I mean, my goodness, he could, nobody could have stopped them. So you couldn't really blame him. But anyways, salute to Darvin Ham. He will find another job probably somewhere else, maybe another playoff contending team, maybe another team that's in Cancun right now. Fuck it. He might play, might be another head coach for like the Bucks or something. I don't know. Maybe fucking they fired Doc Rivers or something, which we'll also talk about Doc Rivers. Now, he didn't get fired or anything, but just to talk about the Bucks in general. But yeah, Darvin Ham, he is, but yeah, I'm just making sure that we're, recording fine. So yeah, Lakers, they fired Darvin Ham, and that's that. So yeah. Let's talk about Patrick Beverly before we get to all playoff basketball. Yeah, dude. So look, this series is over. The Bucks lose the series against the Pacers in 6 games. In the first round, they actually the last game was yesterday. And yesterday after their blowout loss to the Pacers, they were on the bench. Obviously, Patrick Beverly had a ball that a fan threw back at him, and then he just basically just threw the ball pretty aggressively towards the fan, and it accidentally hit a woman by accident in the stands. Accidental, not really, because you can clearly he had a fucking attitude throwing the damn ball with all that, with all that speed and velocity. But you know what? Maybe he was just the heat of the moment, very upset that he just got eliminated. They're being sent home and they're going to fucking Cancun and they're going to the crib. So, heat of the moment, you get pissed off, right? So he threw the ball at the fan, but then unfortunately that wasn't really what happened. The biggest headline afterwards, it was after during the press conference in the locker room, he was a reporter from ESPN was asking him if you can interview him, and then he was saying, "But are you subscribed to my podcast? Or are you subscribed to my podcast on YouTube?" And she was like, "No." And then he's like, "Well, fuck you. I'm not. You're not going to report me. Then you can skedaddle." And I mean, I mean, first of all, what? You're not gonna let her interview just because you don't? She doesn't follow you on your fucking podcast, bro. What? Who the fuck do you think you are? I don't know. That's number one. Number two, she wasn't harassing you about it. She was simply just doing her job. She wasn't being she was not being aggressive. She was not saying anything stupid towards you. You were just in your fucking bad, shitty ass attitude for no reason. You're throwing balls to the fans. You're being disrespectful to reporters. And in this case, the reporter wasn't even being disrespectful or trying to insinuate anything disrespectful. Because I do know these fucking reporters, they be tripping sometimes. To the players, I get it. I get it, man. Sometimes these fucking players, I get why they don't want to talk to the press. My goodness, these fucking reporters be harassing them sometimes. I get it. And I get this their job. But in this situation, we had nothing to do with that. He was just being a little bitch and acting like a fucking asshole. That's all he was, just acting like an asshole. You know, just this self-centered fucking attitude came out of him, and just he's banned. He is banned from since it was an ESPN reporter that he was talking. He was basically just denying for him to be interviewed by her. Yeah, he's not going to be attending to any interviews from ESPN. He's not going to be in any show appearances or anything like that. And he might get suspended, or maybe not suspended, probably like fined or some shit. Like, oh my god, oh my goodness, bro, this shit hits different at 2 a.m. Anyways, yeah, you can't be doing this shit, man. You can't be doing this shit. But anyways, Patrick Beverly, what a fucking bozo. But anyways, we'll get to okay. We have the NBA playoffs. We got the draft. But before we get to those two things, let's talk about the NHL playoffs. Don't worry, I'm not gonna talk much about it. It's like I've been watching hockey that much, but I have seen a couple games. So, all right. So just to kind of to the series, which ones ended? Okay, so the what? Wait, let me look at the bracket though. I don't want to look at it. Let me look at the bracket. Okay, the bracket's here. Okay, so here coming out the West, let's look at the Western Conference. So we got Avalanche, the Colorado Avalanche. They defeat the Winnipeg Jets in 5 games. Moving on to the second round, the Canucks, they defeat the Predators in 6 games. So they move on against the Oilers, who beat the Kings in 5 games. So again, obviously, I don't know why the Canucks are not here yet, but whatever. Haven't updated that shit yet. The Dallas and the Vegas Golden Knights, there was a game 6 today, and Vegas won the game. There will be a game 7, I believe, on Sunday. So that should be interesting. The Panthers take down the Lightning in 5 games, moving on to the second round. We have a game 3. We have a game 7 against the Bruins and the Maple Leafs. Now, last year, the Bruins, they blew a 3-1 lead against the Panthers last year in the first or second round, I believe, and they were up 3-1 in the series. Now, Toronto won the last 2 games, and they could potentially win it again. In game 7, I think it's tonight, Saturday night, so Toronto, if y'all can take down Boston, that would be nice. Boston losing back-to-back seasons, 3-1 deficits or 3-1 leads, that would be embarrassing. That would be embarrassing. The Rangers sweep the Capitals 4-0, and of course the Hurricanes beating the Islanders in 5. So yeah, it should be interesting. Out of here, we got the Canucks, Oilers. Give me the Oilers to win this series, I believe. The Rangers, Hurricanes. Give me the Rangers to come out of this series. I mean, I'm gonna assume Vegas. I'm picking Vegas to. I had Vegas winning this series, so give me Vegas winning Game 7, and then give me Colorado winning this series. And then between Florida or Boston, I mean, between Florida, whoever wins between Boston or Toronto, I'm picking Florida. So either way, the Panthers, I think they're gonna beat the Bruins, or they can beat Toronto. I mean, the Panthers. I'm gonna be rooting for the Panthers all the way. So. Let's go Panthers. Let's go Florida. I mean, the fact that Florida, it's so random to me that fucking Florida one of the hottest states in the country might win hockey, like a professional hockey like tournament. I mean, it's weird enough that Tampa already won it a couple times already. It's weird that the Florida has like actually been very good at hockey within these past like handful of years. It's very weird. I've always felt like hockey was West Coast Canada and like the metropolitan states or whatever, like Florida. Like, we should not be good at fucking hockey, bro. It's too hot over here to be good at this fucking hockey shit. But if we win it, fuck it, we'll win it, we'll take it, whatever it is. The Marlins suck. The Heat, every other year they'll make a playoff run or they'll make a finals run, but they won't win shit. The Dolphins, they'll be in the playoffs, but then they won't do anything. And then what else am I missing? Inter Miami. Hey, with Messi, we might win an MLS Cup. Who knows? We'll see what happens. But other than that, Miami sports in general is just all fucked. Whether we make the playoffs or not, you still can't get too excited. So maybe the fucking Panthers can do something. Either way, I'm rambling. Let me just shut the fuck up. Let's move on to the NFL draft. And then we could finally talk about the NBA playoffs. Let me see how long I've been recording for already. 40 minutes? Oh my God. This might be an hour and a half, guys. Anyways, let's get to the draft. So, NFL draft. Let's recap it. So, Caleb Williams of USC, of course, he gets picked number 1 overall to the Chicago Bears. And the Chicago Bears, hopefully they get their future franchise quarterback in Caleb Williams. Generational talent, hopefully, as he's been remarked. He's been regarded as a generational talent coming into the draft. Consensus number 1. I don't give a fuck if him painting his nails, getting manicures, maybe acting a little bit zesty pisses you off. He can throw the fucking football, and I am gonna hope that this man will be another fucking NFL superstar in the making. The Chicago Bears might be a relevant franchise and a winning franchise because of this man, and I am not cursing them because this Chicago Bears team hasn't had a great quarterback since fucking 1957. And I was just exaggerating. And honestly, maybe I'm not even exaggerating because I don't even think even since 1957 they've had a great quarterback that I can fucking think of. So congratulations on Caleb Williams going to the Chicago Bears. Then we got God damn, this shit's so good. Shit's so good. Anyways, we got Jaden Daniels going number 2 overall to the Washington Commanders. Again, we're hoping that the Commanders also got their new franchise quarterback in Jaden Daniels. The consensus number 2 pick, I would say. And then we got Drake May, another quarterback, back to back QBs coming off the draft tracker. Going 1, 2, and 3 on the draft. Drake May to the New England Patriots, who could be the next big guy, the next big thing in New England, the next Tom Brady, because Mac Jones was definitely not it. So we're hoping Drake May is the new guy in New England. So yeah, again, these guys are gonna be coming off. They're gonna go straight to the mud. They're gonna be fucking making their rookie starts throughout the season. Nothing much to worry about. So congratulations on all 3 of them. Then we got the Cardinals at number 4, where they picked up Marvin Harrison Jr., one of the best wide receivers I've seen in college. Within like the past handful of years. I mean, I've been watching college football for at least maybe like 4 or 5 years. Not so long, but he's definitely within that past 4 or 5 years. I've my goodness, he's been one of the best receivers I've seen play at Ohio State. And his dad was an absolute dog when he played for the Colts. So I'm expecting great things from Marvin Harrison. As Kyler Murray has a new weapon to work with in Arizona, so I should be excited to see. The Chargers, they get offensive tackle with Joe Alt. Big boy. He should be working down the trenches. Of course, the working down the trenches, getting protection for Justin Herbert, because He's gonna need it. I mean, he needs weapons, but he's gonna need protection too. So you know what I mean? Fuck, where he's gonna definitely need it. So that's good on for the Chargers to get offensive tackle there. Then we got Malik Neighbors going number 6 overall to the Giants. Definitely didn't look excited. I've already seen memes that he looked super pumped. He just had the most, you know, resting bitch face. But either way, whatever, the memes are gonna do its job. But Malik Neighbors should be another stud wide receiver coming out of LSU. Another weapon for Daniel Jones. Daniel Jones. Yeah. I'm sorry, dude. I really hope Daniel Jones is now your quarterback at some point. But yeah. Daniel Jones, you're gonna have to work with Malik Neighbors. Um, or actually, it should be reversed. Malik Neighbors, you're gonna actually you're gonna have to try to catch footballs from fucking Daniel Jones. But we'll see if anything, could change up there. J.C. Latham, offensive tackle from Alabama, goes number 7 overall to the Tennessee Titans there. And now let's talk about everyone's and the most controversial pick of the draft, without a doubt. Michael Penix Jr. going number 8 overall, the quarterback from Washington, from the Huskies, who played in the national championship earlier this year against Michigan. Um, Michael Penix Jr., the left-handed pocket passer, deep, deep ball enthusiast. He loves the deep ball, and he has great precision, and obviously, all the skill sets is here, working in for a top 10 pick. But the consensus was not that he was going to be projected to be a top 10 pick. In fact, number 8 overall, especially for the Atlanta Falcons, to pick Michael Penix Jr. was very questionable. Here's the situation. Kirk Cousins literally just signed last month or 2 months ago, and it says in March, a 4-year, $180 million deal. Let me repeat that again. Kirk Cousins, 2 months ago, signed a 4-year, during free agency, a 4-year, $180 million deal with the Falcons to obviously be the guy for the next 4 years in Atlanta. 2 months later, we get to the draft, and they pick Michael Penix Jr. to be the backup, obviously, to Kirk Cousins. But they're looking at Michael Penix for the future. They're looking at Michael Penix to be the next big thing after Kirk Cousins, after his time is over in Atlanta. But the thing is, you can look at that and say that's great for Michael Penix to develop under Kirk Cousins for these next couple years. But the thing is, the next couple years is literally not the next couple years. If we are looking at this, if we're looking at Kirk Cousins and he's going to play all 4 years in Atlanta because of the contract, it's not a guarantee that he's going to be in Atlanta for 4 years, but let's easily put that and assume that. We're not going to assume, oh, he gets hurt, misses a year. We're going to assume that Kirk Cousins plays 4 years and is worth every fucking dollar of that $180 million deal. Michael Penix, he's going to be the backup for 4 years, and then he eventually becomes the starter at what, age 27 or something, 28? I think he's like 23 or 24. How old is Michael Penix? I think he's like 23. He's 23, and he's turning 24 in 4 days. He's turning 24 in 4 days. He could be the starter for the Falcons after Kirk Cousins is over. If the 4 years go past by, 28 at 28 years old, that's when he's most likely going to be the guy. Look, the Falcons, I don't blame them looking at Michael Penix and being all fanatic about him, because again, no one is talking bad about Michael Penix. No one's talking about that. We're just questioning the Falcons on why they were drafting him so high up. You know what I mean? Especially since it's this very unexpected approach after giving Kirk Cousins all that money just so they can get a backup quarterback. But they're not looking at him as a backup quarterback. They're looking at him as the future quarterback already. And of course, I was already thinking, well, is this a Jordan Love situation? where he got drafted while Aaron Rodgers was still the guy, still winning MVPs for the Packers. But at least, we knew Aaron Rodgers' time was going to be up at some point. Aaron Rodgers in his later end of his career, Jordan Love was going to be there for a handful of years. He wasn't expected to be, a starter anytime soon. We knew that Jordan Love was going to take a couple years to develop under Rodgers. But Michael Penix Jr., I mean, he's a quarterback that if he was drafted to the Bears, if he was drafted to the Commanders, he would have been immediately thrown into the dirt. Like he would have been a starter already. But in this situation, he's going to be the backup for a handful of years, and we don't know how his development's going to be with Kirk Cousins. But another thing tells me is that Kirk Cousins is a great to good quarterback. I mean, I know he's not, he has his moments. He has his seasons where, in the regular season, he has a great performance. In the playoffs, just doesn't do much when he does make the playoffs. And at moments, he does have like this knack of just being very inconsistent. But Kirk Cousins, for the most part, is a pretty good quarterback. Like he's good enough to make the playoffs. He's good enough to, if he has weapons around him, which he fucking does, because that Falcons offense is loaded. I mean, it's no reason for Kirk Cousins to not make the playoffs or for the Falcons to not make a playoff push this year with that offense. With Bijan, with Kyle Pitts, if they utilize them right. And, their defense also has stepped up and improved these past couple years. So the Falcons have so much to offer, and they obviously could have picked anybody but Michael Penix Jr. They needed more help on the defense. They could have done more for the offensive line. Shit, they could have had another fucking wide receiver if they wanted to, but Michael Penix just didn't feel like the perfect fit, especially at him at number 8. A lot of people didn't even have him in the top 15 in the draft. He was at least a first round pick, no doubt, but 20 maybe would have been a better offer. They could have traded down to get Michael Penix Jr. later on. So I don't know. It's a very sticky situation for the Falcons. I'm hoping it works out well in the end. I think Kirk Cousins is going to be that man at Atlanta, but he hasn't even proved that yet. And, it's already kind of like a very weird, awkward situation for Kirk Cousins because, yes, he is getting the bag. So he has nothing to worry about. But he's already looking at the team like, I already got a guy that's already ready for me to fuck up and is ready to be the next fucking star of the team. I go down with an injury or I'm having a stretch of terrible games. The fans are going to be like, bring Penix in, and this motherfucker becomes a star. And the development will be, and it won't be as bad because again, Michael Penix will still be, he's still a rookie, he's still young, so it wouldn't be much criticism on Michael Penix. They wouldn't have too much to rely on. They could use that excuse that, well, they have a young quarterback. If they suck with Penix, it will be very different than if they would suck with Kirk Cousins because no one's really going to blame too much on Michael Penix for sucking ass in his rookie year than if Kirk Cousins sucks ass in his first year in Atlanta. So it will be a much different weight to carry for each. But yeah, I do think Kirk Cousins is going to have a good season with Atlanta. And so we most likely won't be getting much Michael Penix Jr. out there unless they're winning blowouts games. Then maybe we'll get a couple snaps from him, but we'll see. We'll see. Yeah, definitely they could have went with another wide receiver. They could have went more offensive. They could have had another weapon. They could have added more defensive players if they really wanted to. But fuck it. That's where they're at right now. It's already too late. They got Michael Penix Jr. So fuck it. At number 9, Rome Doomsday, wide receiver from Washington, goes to the Chicago Bears. So now Caleb Williams has a star wide receiver, rookie wide receiver coming into that draft, to that wide receiver room in Chicago. So now they got DJ Moore, Rome Doomsday, and who else do they have? My goodness, my typing is horrific. They have Keenan Allen. Yes, they have Keenan Allen, Rome Doomsday, and they have DJ Moore. That is a crazy wide receiver room in Chicago. That's going to be big. The Minnesota Vikings, they get JJ McCarthy out of Michigan. Okay. I mean, I'm not high on JJ McCarthy, but hoping the best for him in Minnesota. Hopefully, he could be the guy for them over there. Uluwayu Fashanu, offensive tackle from Penn State, goes to the New York Jets. Bo Nix looks like he's going to be the new guy in Denver after getting drafted from. He's going to get drafted to the Denver Broncos. Brock Bowers, tight end from Georgia, going to the Raiders. Talise Fuanga, offensive tackle from Oregon State, going to the Saints. Laliata Latu going to Indianapolis Colts. Byron Murphy going to the Seahawks. Dallas Turner going to the Vikings. Marius Mims getting drafted to the Bengals. Jared Verse from edge rusher from Florida State going to the Rams. Torrey Fortanu going to the Steelers. Chop Robinson drafted by the Miami Dolphins. Kenyon Mitchell, I think. Kenyon Mitchell, cornerback from Toledo, going to the Philadelphia Eagles. That's going to be a pretty good pick there. Since James Bradbury couldn't do fucking anything, maybe this motherfucker will lock motherfuckers up. We'll see. Brian Thomas Jr., receiver from LSU, going to the Jaguars. Terrion Arnold, cornerback from Alabama, another corner that the Lions could use there. And that's going to be fucking. Well, that Lions secondary is going to be. It's going to be dangerous. Anyways, Jordan Morgan, offensive line to the Packers. Graham Broughton, center from the to the Buccaneers. Darius Robinson to the Cardinals. Xavier Worthy going to the Chiefs. Oh my goodness, the fucking Bills are some fucking idiots. They drafted. Oh my god, they drafted to the Chiefs. They traded away their pick to the Chiefs. The Chiefs traded up to the Bills to get fucking Xavier Worthy. I don't know why the Bills even offered or even accepted that shit. They literally accepted a trade offer from the fucking Chiefs, and they just took a weapon that the Bills needed. The Bills would have loved to have Xavier Worthy. If you don't know, he was the one. He's the guy that has the fastest 40-yard dash in the combine. With a 4.21, a 4.21. That's unheard of. So another speedy guy that Patrick Mahomes has on his fucking offensive arsenal. So that's great. That's great. The Bills would have loved to have him, but you gave it to the fucking Chiefs. To your arch nemesis. You gave it to your arch nemesis. You let them trade up to get fucking Xavier Worthy. They had him at 32. They could have had him at 32, but they got him at 28. The Bills, you fucking messed up. And if you don't make the playoffs this year, it won't even be that surprising at this point. Anyways, Tyler Guyton going to the Cowboys. Nate Wiggins going to the Ravens. Ricky Parcell going to the Niners. Another wide receiver to the Niners. I mean, another weapon for the Niners, but they could have had more help for the defense. Who knows? Fuck it. And Xavier Legette, a receiver from South Carolina, going to the Panthers. So that's the first round. I mean, second round picks. Any notable second round picks? Keon Coleman went to the Bills, a wide receiver for. That's going to be a big. That was a big pick that the Bills had. At least they had the first pick in the second round. Keon Coleman. I was watching like his interviews and stuff, like his press conferences. Man, he's already showing his personality. He seems like a pretty interesting dude, man. He seems fun. He seems funny as fuck. He seems pretty cool. So I like his personality already. Looking looking like he's already somebody who's going to be pretty entertaining to watch this upcoming season. Kool-Aid McKinstry went to 41 to the Saints. He was projected pretty high. Cooper DeJean going to the Eagles. A white cornerback. That's very fucking rare. A white cornerback out of Iowa. I don't think I've ever heard that. I've never said that sentence out of my mouth. A white cornerback from Iowa is gonna be yeah. We got another cornerback, but fuck it, why not? Adai Mitchell going to the Colts. That's gonna be another weapon for Anthony Richardson to throw to. That should be crazy to see there in Indianapolis. Cole Bishop to the Bills. a safety there. Another cornerback to the not Lions. Um, Chris Jenkins going to the Bengals. I mean, not really much else to see here. I mean, round 3, was there any ones that I can remember here? Yeah. I mean, it was really the first. I didn't really watch the draft. Oh yeah, Blake Corum. He's going to the Rams. Roman Wilson going to the Steelers. So yeah, not that much noticeable players I know here. Oh, Luke McCaffrey. He's going to the Commanders. The one of the younger brothers of Christian McCaffrey, the McCaffrey family. Going number what? Going number what? 90 something. Going 100th overall to the Commanders. So that should be interesting. Jatamion Sanders. Wait, where is? I know one of Jerry Rice's sons got drafted. I just don't know what round it was or what pick it was. I think it was like around 6 or 7. I don't know. I'm trying to see Rice. Oh, Spencer Rattler went 150th overall to the Saints. That's a noticeable guy in college there to mention. Tracy Jr. went to the Giants. Where is Rice? I think he was 7th round. Let me see. Yes, Brendan Rice, wide receiver from USC, going to the Chargers at 225. So that should be pretty interesting. The son of Jerry Rice, the legendary wide receiver, going to the Chargers. So that should be pretty interesting. And then Mr. Irrelevant. Who the fuck is Mr. Irrelevant? Wait, did I just already pass by? Jalen Key, a safety from Alabama, to the Jets, going to be Mr. Irrelevant. Wait, they made a signing. There was a quarterback that got signed literally right after the draft was done. I'm trying to figure out who it was. I'm gonna look at their Instagram real quick and see who was the guy that they signed right after the draft was over. I forgot. I think it was a quarterback. Oh yeah, it was Sam Hartman, the quarterback from Notre Dame. He is signing with the Commanders. So yeah, this dude pretty much looks like a Jimmy Garoppolo dog. Looks like he gets all the bad bitches. But we'll see. I don't think I think he's gonna be known more for being a stud of a man that he is, or of his looks, than maybe of his play on the field. To be honest with you, just because Jimmy Garoppolo, you got some fucking competition there, buddy. All right, that is enough draft talk. Now let's talk about the NBA playoffs. We're an hour and 2 minutes recording. We got time. All right. Let me talk about let's go series by series. Let's go Eastern Conference. Let's do like the series. Let's go Eastern Conference first. So let's talk about the Celtics and the Heat series. Yeah, what did you expect? The Celtics, they win this series in 5 games. Yeah. What I mean, did you really expect much from the Miami Heat in this series? They had no Jimmy Butler, they had no Terry Rozier, and we didn't have Jaime Jaquez in game 5 and in game 4. All right. We're not gonna fucking do anything. So yeah, the Celtics, they win game 1. The Heat make it interesting and win game 2. Celtics win game 3, 4, and 5. So in game 1, I mean, it was a blowout. Not much has really happened in game 1. I mean, it was a fucking blowout. We just couldn't do much here. In game 2, things got interesting because we outshot the Celtics. This was the game in Boston, and I think that was game. That was definitely the game. That obviously the only game that we won. We outshot Boston, I believe. First of all, we hit like 27 threes in the game. So that was like a playoff franchise record for the Miami Heat, hitting 27 threes in a game. So obviously we outshot them in threes. And obviously that was pretty much the only way we got to beat them overall. And then, I mean, Tyler Hero had an amazing game in that one. Jaquez had a pretty good game in that one. Bam also had a pretty good game in that one. But that was just one game that we were able to take out, against the Celtics at the Garden. But everything else, man, the Celtics, they have a complete roster, man. Defensively, we couldn't match up well. Kristaps got hurt in Game 3, and he didn't miss the last 2 games, so that could be a big factor in the next series for the Celtics, whether they have to play the Cavaliers or the Magic in the next round. It is going to be very interesting to see what could happen with Kristaps. Hopefully, he does play in the next series, but I mean, without Kristaps, we were still without Kristaps, we were still fucked either way. Jason Tatum had a great series overall. Jaylen Brown, you know, Derek White, he had like what 38 points, I think, in Game 3 or in Game 4. Like fucking Derek White, I hate that man. Oh my god, I don't hate the man. I don't hate the man, but just looking at his fucking face pisses me off as a Heat fan. Fuck, man. It just triggers me. It just triggers me so much. Um, but yeah, this. What am I gonna talk about? I literally said the Boston were gonna sweep this team or win in 5. I think I had them winning in 5, so I was right. Unfortunately, and in Game 5, oh my goodness, I don't even want to talk about that game. We didn't even play that game at that point. That we just forget about it. Let's talk about the Bucks and the Pacers. However, let's talk about this series though. Um, what did I say? The Pacers, they beat the Bucks. They beat the Bucks in 6 games. Um, this is a good matchup for the Pacers. Not a great matchup for the Bucks. Unfortunately, Giannis did not play in this series, so that was a huge factor in why the series was all over the place. I mean, there just wasn't much to obtain. Milwaukee, they had a good Game 1. Damian Lillard had a pretty good game. Chris Middleton had a fucking amazing game. Well, actually, no, it wasn't that. It wasn't Game 1. Actually, it was Game 3, I believe. That's when he had like 40 fucking points. But they still lost that game. That Game 3 that they went in overtime. But still, Chris Middleton, they had a bunch of good players out there, putting up points. The thing is, overall, throughout the series, I mean, Tyrese Halliburton had a great series. Pascal Siakam was a huge difference maker throughout this series over here. The bench was productive for the Pacers, and obviously their offense, was high scoring. I mean, it was insane. I mean, the 2 wins that the Pacers got, that the 2 wins that the Bucks got were the 2 wins that they won by double digits, and also when the Pacers scored less than 100 points. I mean, they lost Game 1 and Game 5, 94 points in Game 1, 92 points in Game 5. So when the Pacers are just not scoring 100 points, they're pretty much going to lose the game. So essentially, that's just how it is at this point. You lose a game like that, scoring less than 100. The defense steps up for the Bucks in those couple games, but overall the bench was just non-existent for every other game. Those 2 games in Indianapolis, I feel like the Bucks had a really good chance in Game 3, but they couldn't take advantage. Their defense was sloppy in that one. And the bench just couldn't do much, especially in Game 6. I don't know what Game 6 was, but it was a disaster for the Bucks, and they just could not handle that fast pace that the Pacers play with that offense. I mean, they shoot lights out sometimes, or sometimes just getting fast break points. They drive through the fucking hole, or they just shoot threes like it's nothing. Like, their offense is just whatever is them attacking, it's working. Clearly has worked enough to win this series. Obviously, Dame also missed Game 4 and Game 5. He did play in Game 6. He had like 30 some, I believe. Chris Middleton was a good factor in this series, but just the rest, everybody else, Bobby Portis didn't have a great series. I mean, Patrick Beverly didn't really have a good series. Like, everybody else was just not really doing much for Milwaukee off the bench. Indy had Siakam, delivering. I mean, well, not off the bench, but we had McConnell coming off the bench. We had Obi Toppin coming off the bench. Like, they were fucking holding their own ground, and they were able to take the series, and they were able to carry Game 6 because they really stepped up in Game 6, and I mean, here we are. I mean, the Pacers, they move on. They're going to be playing against the New York Knicks in the second round or in the Eastern Conference semifinals. Speaking of the Knicks, let's talk about that series. The Knicks versus the Sixers. Yep, I predicted this again. I'm just the Eastern Conference. I predicted it all very well. So far, the Knicks predicted to beat the Sixers in 6 games, and that's exactly what happened. The Knicks had a great first 2 games starting off the series. Game one, pretty good. Starting off this. I mean, at this point, I kind of forgot how game one goes. It's the first game of the series. I forgot really how much the tension went. Game two was a big win for the Knicks and a huge loss for the Sixers. Why? Well, what the fuck happened for the Sixers getting all those fucking rebounds and for, in game two the Sixers sold because they were up by like 6 points with like 30 something seconds left. And Tyrese Maxey had a turnover because he was trying to get the ball. And it was always tipped out of bounds. And then I believe DiVincenzo got the ball, shoot the three, tied the game, and eventually had took another shot at the free throw line, got the lead, and then after that, the Sixers couldn't come back after that, and it was a disaster. It was a disaster that the Sixers were up by that many points, and then they just let the Knicks come over with that turnover from Maxey, and also just not getting the offensive rebound and not making fucking free throws. Well, the Knicks were able to take advantage, and they got the 2-0 series lead. In game three, the Sixers had a different game plan, and they were able to step up. Joel Embiid, I believe, had 50 points in that game. He had 50 fucking points in that game. So Embiid stepped up very well in that one. In game four, kind of more or less the same low-scoring game, high defensive battle. It was, back and forth on that one, but the Knicks able to take that one. Game five, I didn't really watch much of this game, but I should have watched that fourth quarter because Tyrese fucking Maxey went crazy. He had 47 points in that game five. And it was the opposite situation of what game two. I mean, the Knicks were up by like 6 points with like around 30, 40 seconds. And Tyrese Maxey hit 2 clutch. He had a 4-point play. And then he hit a 3 from the fucking logo to take the lead. Or actually, no, to force overtime. And then eventually took over in overtime. And we won it 112 to 106. And that was all nice and butterflies and, beautiful. And then, we lost a close one in game 6. And then the Knicks just closed out the series. Jalen Brunson, I believe, had 40 points in like 3 games in the series. He had 41 points, I believe, in game 6. I think in game 4, I think he had 47. So yeah, I mean the Knicks offensively just all over the place. They outscored us by like 1 point throughout the whole series. I just saw the stat on ESPN like literally like yesterday, but yeah, like overall just sloppy defense. Tobias Harris, oh my god, how could I forget? Tobias Harris scored 0 fucking points yesterday in game 6. Yeah, dude, thank you for giving us a donut. Thank you for giving us cardio, running laps, doing fucking half suicides. I mean, my goodness, like, thank you for that, Tobias. Just you couldn't do much. You couldn't do anything at all. Yeah, he had like 2 shot attempts for 0 points. My goodness, dude. Like, what? Like, what are we fucking doing here? What the fuck are we doing here? But anyways, the Knicks, they wrap the series up, get the job done. Bada bing, bada boom. Anyways, let's talk about the Thunder Pelicans. Not much to talk about in this one. The Thunder swept. Sweep. They swept the Pelicans. No matchup. Without Zion Williamson, the Pelicans had no chance. Brandon Ingram did not have the best series in this one. CJ McCollum averaged what? He averaged what? 17, almost 18 points in the series. Yeah, I mean, the fucking game one was pretty good. Game one was pretty good, and it was back and forth. But the Thunder ended up got a game winning shot from Shea. Actually, no, it was. I don't think it was from Shea. I think it was from Jay Williams. I think it was from Jalen Williams. But still, I mean, this Thunder team looked crispy. They looked clean. They were making up good shots. I mean, it was the Pelicans without Zion Williamson. It really wasn't much of a series to begin with there. Um, but yeah, I mean, still, the Thunder got it done. And the Pelicans, unfortunately, with Zion, it probably would have been a different story. But we'll see. We'll see what happens, what they can do next year. But the Thunder, they do move on. And let's talk about the Clippers and the Mavericks, which just wrapped up today, a couple hours ago, with Game 6 wrapping up. Yeah, this was a pretty good series for the most part. Mavericks, man, offensively, Luka, he scored like 20, 30 plus points in most of these games, going fucking crazy. Kyrie Irving, oh my goodness, Kyrie Irving has had like insane fucking plays throughout the whole series. I mean, splitting through three defenders, making a tough lay-in and one shots, 3-pointers, just being clutch. I mean, Kyrie Irving is just an absolute demon, dude. It's just fucking, my goodness. But the Mavericks, they put pressure on this fucking Clippers team, dude. The Clippers team defensively kind of slipped at many games. I mean, they started off good in game one. I mean, the Mavericks sucked in that first half in game one, and then they were stepping up in the second half, but the Clippers just outscored them there. In game two, it was a low scoring game, but the Mavericks were able to pick up the pace there, and they got game two there. In game three as well. In game four, this was a pretty big game for Paul George. I think he had 30 some points, and he hit the dagger. Against the Mavericks. That was a pretty back and forth game. I think that game was on Sunday, I think. That was a fucking big game to watch there. Then the Mavericks, they blew the fucking Clippers in the last game where the Lakers would play at the Crypto.com arena, since they're going to be playing at their new home arena at Inglewood starting next season. So they lost by 30 points in their last game at the Crypto arena. That's just a damn shame. The Clippers just gave up on that fucking game. And then in game 6, I mean, they only lost by 13, but holy fuck, they were down. They were losing in that fourth quarter. That second half, it was an abysmal for the Clippers. Just couldn't do much at all. It was a disaster. It was a fucking disaster. Kawhi Leonard, I mean, this man is always hurt at the worst time. At this point, it's like, fuck. He was so lucky in 2019 that he was healthy that whole year where he won the championship. Or else they probably would have not even won the goddamn thing. They were so lucky Kawhi was healthy the whole postseason, and that KD and Klay Thompson got hurt in the finals. Oh my fucking goodness. I'm looking back at it now my goodness, man. Kawhi Leonard, I feel for him, but Jesus, man, it's the worst. He gets hurt every single fucking series. He just has not been healthy ever in the playoffs since he won a championship with the Raptors. And he just can't play 6 games, not get hurt. It's just a fucking shame. It's, my goodness. It's just too much, man. At this point, you can't rely. He's just very injury prone. I feel for him, but my goodness, man. Paul George played great throughout the series. James Harden had a couple good games. He actually had a pretty good game in game. I think it was game 4. I mean, it had to be one of those games that they won, I believe. Russell Westbrook was all right in this series. The bench, not doing much in this one. But yeah, the Clippers going to Cancun, the Mavericks moving on. Will be facing the Oklahoma City Thunder in the second round. Next, we got 2 more series to talk about. We got the Timberwolves and the Suns. Anthony Edwards, dog. Devin Booker, buns. Kevin Durant, amazing. Was okay in this series though. Wasn't great in this series. But Anthony Edwards, you're Michael Jordan. You're Michael Jordan 2.0. I mean, I had Phoenix winning this series. I think it's 6 or 7 games, and they couldn't even win a game. That's how fucking good Minnesota's defense was throughout this whole game. throughout this whole series. Excuse me. Their defense, top tier, one of the best defenses in the NBA with Rudy. Um, Pretty much anchoring the defense. I know Rudy Gobert gets a lot of slack, and even though I'm also kind of one of those people, kind of I think he's overrated in a way, but I mean, definitely not. Definitely not worth. Uh, Definitely not as bad or as a player that you would make it seem as to be. Like he's a very good player still, very talented. And Rudy Gobert obviously deserves a lot of credit for anchoring this defense and stuff like that. But Anthony Edwards, Cat, I mean everyone was just doing their job, man. This was just sweeps has to happen when a team is just on their fucking game every single game. They're on point. You don't got guys not doing their jobs. You got everyone fucking doing their jobs. One guy scoring 40, one scoring 25, 5 and 8 or whatever. Cat is, being a facilitator and also shooting the damn ball fucking lights out. Anthony Edwards crossing over, dunking, shooting threes. Jaden McDaniels locking up, Devin Booker, and even at points KD at certain points. Like, dude, the Timberwolves just have it all in this series, and they completely proved me wrong. I thought they were going to show a little bit of inexperience in their postings wise, especially from Anthony Edwards and a couple of other players, but he was ready for the moment. Kevin Durant, man, he was getting torched by Anthony Edwards, dude. Anthony Edwards was talking his shit, and he backed it up, man. He backed it up. He was super entertaining to watch this series. I am so excited for this next series between the Wolves and the Nuggets. That is going to be that's probably going to be the best series in the second round, most likely, I'm predicting. One of the best defenses, one of the best offenses in the NBA, and I mean both completely balanced team. Like both benches can go back and forth with each other. We're not even looking at the starting lineup; we're looking at the bench, and they're gonna play their lights out. And the Suns, man, complete opposite. You got to depend on KD too much. You got to depend on Devin Booker. Bradley Beal barely did anything in this series, and then Grayson Allen got hurt, and he was one of the best shooters in the regular season, and he just couldn't do much because he got hurt. And I think in Game 3, I believe, the Phoenix they were just all over the place. Frank Vogel, I don't know if he's out of town in Phoenix. I don't know if he's going to be the next coach that's going to get fired after getting swept. But yeah, the Suns just absolutely disappointed everybody. Just disappointed me. Thought they're gonna do a lot. They're gonna do a lot better. They're gonna have to make some changes in the offseason because no way. I don't know if KD wants to go, but it looks like at this point KD is just like out of it. He's gonna get. He wants to get the fuck out of here. Why would he not want to? And now the Nuggets, Lakers. Talk about this series. Yeah, so the Nuggets still own the Lakers. Surprise, surprise. But the Lakers still somehow they got one win. They got one win in this series. They did not get swept at the very least. But the Nuggets absolutely dominated this series. They dominated the series for the most part. The crazy thing is that most of these games, the Lakers had pretty good, huge, yeah, like they had pretty big leads throughout this series. In game 2, they had a 20-point lead around like that third or fourth quarter. I forgot exactly what point in the game, but they were up by like 20 something. The Nuggets hit a game winning shot. Jamal Murray over Anthony Davis. Bada bing, bada boom. They win game 2 and they take a 2-0 series lead. Lakers fans in absolute distraught. Game 3, they just looked so out of place. D'Angelo Russell scored 0 points in game 3. Wow. Yeah, Rui Hachimura did not have a good game as well in that one, I believe. That and game 5, I think. Game 4, this was a little bit different. This was the game where the Lakers actually they had a lead and they didn't blow it. They actually maintained the lead the whole entire game. The Nuggets didn't storm back. It's like the fucking Nuggets were just toying with them the whole series. It's like the Nuggets would just it would be a 68-52 halftime score, and then the final score would be 123-118 Nuggets. You know what I mean? They'll be down 16 at the half, and then they'll win by 8. It's just that's the Nuggets. Like they were just fucking toying them around. I feel like they weren't even showing their full potential or even 100% of their power. It's like I'm not even at full form. Like they were maybe like at 80 or 90 or something. But Jokic, Jamal, this fucking team is amazing, dude. I'm sorry, man. This Nuggets team, they won the championship for a reason, and I'm scared, dude. I am scared. I am scared what the Wolves. I'm scared for the Wolves, but I think the Wolves are gonna, keep this team really in check. Because the Lakers, matchup wise, the Nuggets. I mean, come on now, the Lakers had no chance in this series. I mean, it's a surprise they even won Game 4. LeBron had a pretty good series. AD was great throughout the series. D'Angelo Russell was inconsistent as fuck. Game 3 he had 0 points. I mean, he did bounce back in Game 4. He had like 21, I think, 22 or something. Austin Reeves was solid as well, but just couldn't contribute much. And the Nuggets just absolutely dominated throughout this whole series. It just wasn't the same. It just wasn't the same here. Jamal Murray, also by the way, hit a game winner in Game 5. Yes, you heard that right. He hit 2 game winners in one series. Yes, I know Lakers fans would rather not see Jamal Murray's face for the next fucking handful of months because they will fall into a chronic depression. So yeah, that is how the Nuggets won the series in 5 games against the Lakers. Now there's only one remaining series to wrap up in the first round, and that is the Cavaliers and Magic series. I am not gonna lie, I haven't watched too much of this series, but I will definitely be watching into Game 7. Now, notice a pattern here. Cavs win, Cavs win. Magic win, Magic win. Cavs win, Magic win. Cavs at home in Game 1 and 2. Magic at home in Game 3 and 4. Cavs were at home in Game 5, and the Magic were at home in Game 6. So, yes, the home team has won every single game in this series. The Cavaliers are at home for Game 7. So, will the Cavaliers win the series because they're at home and they've won 3 games at home and they've lost the other 3 games on the road? We will have to wait and see. I haven't seen much from here. Donovan Mitchell had 50 though. He had 50 in Game 6 and they still lost by 7. Paolo Banchero though had a great series though, averaging 25, 7, and 4. But yeah, Game 7 that will be on Sunday should be interesting. I got the Cavs winning. I think I picked the Magic though. Did I pick the Magic? Fuck. I'll pick the Cavs. I mean, whatever. Not the best of series matchup wise. Or not matchup wise, because matchup wise, I mean, they're very even. Obviously, it's a 7-game series. I mean, matchup wise, it's looking pretty good. Like it's not a bad series. But just like viewers wise, no one really was watching this compared to any other series. This one's just kind of like the one that was left, out the dust. But I mean, there's only one game on Sunday, and it's going to be that one, so people will be tuning in for that at least. So yeah, Saturday. So today's game, we'll have Game 1 of the Wolves Nuggets. And then Sunday, we'll have Cavaliers Magic Game 7. And then on Monday, we'll have Pacers Knicks Game 1. And then Game 2 will be, Tuesday, we'll have Game 1 of the Thunder Mavericks. And then Game 1 of the Celtics versus Cavs or Magic. So that is pretty much that. Recapping all of the first round action. Obviously, we'll talk about Game 7. But we'll talk about the next episode after we're recapping this game, and probably this game as well. So yeah, that is that, guys. That is that for today's episode. Let me just get that shit out of here. I've been recording for an hour and 29 minutes, but yeah, it's already 3:35 a.m. God damn. I was gonna do like another reaction video. It's just gonna be a sports episode today. I'm not gonna do no music shit. It was all sports for today's episode, but I might do. I'm gonna be doing an album reaction. Dua Lipa just dropped her new album, Radical Optimism. So I will be doing an album reaction to that later today. So I will be doing that. Drake, Kendrick Lamar have been throwing diss tracks after diss track after diss track. Today alone, Kendrick dropped 2 diss tracks and Drake dropped one. Earlier in the morning, Kendrick dropped one, and then Drake dropped one literally like at 11 p.m. And then at midnight, Kendrick, within an hour of Drake dropping his other diss track, he dropped. I still have not heard the last 3 diss. I haven't heard any of the diss tracks that came out today. I heard Push Ups by Drake, and then I heard Euphoria by Kendrick. So far, I think Euphoria is a lot better of a diss track than Push Up. So right now, after that, I have Kendrick up by 1 probably. After these fucking diss tracks, I haven't heard the new 2 Kendrick diss tracks or the new Drake one. But I think when I do, I might just fucking do a reaction video to it. I haven't been engaged into the beef or anything like that. I haven't really been engaged to it. Like there's so many people doing coverage and like talking about it and stuff like that. I just haven't been, focused on the beef and stuff like that. But anyways, I'll probably do reaction videos for those 3 diss tracks. Probably tomorrow. I do have another video that I want to get to do as well. And then I have another episode that I'm going to be working on this weekend. Hopefully tomorrow night, or actually no, probably not tomorrow night, Sunday night. That I could be releasing throughout the week, either Monday or Tuesday. I will be doing an episode with a special guest. I know I mentioned it a little while ago, but last weekend we were testing things out. So for this weekend, and also obviously since we're going to mostly be talking about music, because this is a friend that I've made a couple years ago, and we just kind of just bonded over music. So this is mostly going to be a music inspired episode. So kind of fitting that I'll kind of save all of that for that episode that will be coming hopefully Monday or Tuesday. But we'll probably start recording it on Sunday night, most likely. And that will be coming out very soon. So that guest episode podcast will be coming out very, very soon, that I will start recording on. And obviously, the Dua Lipa album reaction video that will be coming up soon. The 3 diss track album reactions. I think there's also a K-pop album. There's a couple of K-pop groups I want to check out. It's like a new thing I want to do on the YouTube channel. It's like a new series where I check out new artists, new this and that. And there's a couple of K-pop groups, a couple albums or EPs or whatever that I want to check into. I might just start doing like maybe singles and music videos instead of doing albums, but we'll get to that. Basically, content will be coming soon. I mean, I haven't uploaded in a couple weeks, I know, but I'm back. And it's May. I'm done with school. It's almost summertime. You know what I mean? I got time now. I got more time now. It's fucking summertime pretty much for me already. I don't got school right now. I don't gotta go fucking back to school till August. So I'm chilling. So I got all the time I need in the world to bring up more content. Especially I want to be uploading on TikTok. I gotta catch up with the NBA playoffs on TikTok as well. So make sure, of course, you hope you guys enjoyed the episode. Make sure you do guys follow the Versatility Podcast on Spotify. Make sure you guys follow my Instagram, Jayzer, JAYZER 1028. That's my personal Instagram. Obviously, the Versatility Podcast has its own Instagram account, but I haven't posted that much since earlier this year. But also my TikTok as well. Wait, what's my TikTok again? Let me just make sure I have my TikTok. Oh, Kate out the goat. Oh shit, Kate out the goat. I sound like I'm biased right now. Kate out the goat 19. So that's my username at TikTok. It's all together. K dot KDOT, another THE GOAT 19. So it all kind of rhymes, all fits. But that is it for today's episode. I hope you guys enjoyed. Take care. I am tired. I need sleep. See you guys in a bit. Take care and peace out, my friends.